Now, we haven't had a real life story for a
haven't.
while, have we? So we thought, why not? Let's get one back on the go. And a really amazing story from this week is that the first Class 60 has actually gone into preservation now. And we've got some fantastic exclusive images here, and these are courtesy of Priest Abnormal Load Services, who very kindly sent this over to us. As you can see, 60086 there, looking a little bit worse for wear after being in long storage at Toten Yard since 2005, I believe now.
2005, yeah.
It's been sitting out there in the elements for quite some time, but as you can see, it's been whisked away to its new home on the Wensleydale Railway, who actually have a bit of an interesting link with this locomotive, don't they?
They do indeed. Right back in December 1992, this was the last locomotive to haul freight off the branch line. It's now a preserved railway up in the northeast of England, but back when it was in commercial use with British Rail, this was the last locomotive to leave with a full train of limestone at the end of 1992. So it's almost coming home in a way, but to see these locomotives enter preservation now really adds a new link to the Class 60 story. Quite a few of them are still in use, but at the same time these locomotives were developed right back in the 1980s as well, so they have earned the place in preservation now.
Absolutely.
To some people it might not seem 2 minutes since they were being built and in mainstream operation, but at the same time they've hauled a lot of heavy trains across the UK for over 30 years. They were one of the final diesel designs built for British Railways as well, built by British Railways, sorry, as part of the Brush contract as well. So introduced in that late 80s era, just a really iconic locomotive. And of course, there's some great models out there as well.
Totally. And we've got a few fantastic clips of those models running around. You can see two on the table in front of us. These are Hornby's super high detail Class 60s in 00. You got Colas and Load Haul there. And we've got some great shots of these two on the go, on the test track as well. Now, there's been quite a lot of variations of these in stock in the past. And we do have quite a few variations in stock now, covering Load Haul, Colas Rail, DB Schenker to name but a few. And there are even more due in the future as well. Hornby announced a few as part of their 2020 catalogue, so you'll be able to get those at the latter part of this year. We do get quite a lot of these into our pre-owned department as well, so do keep an eye out there, and there's a few different liveries that come through. But as well, if you are looking for a model of 60086 in its current condition, let us know. We've got a form on our website that lets you contribute that to us and let us know that you'd like to see that in the future. So you never know, if it does get announced, we will then be able to let you know that that has come through. And of course, as you can see, these are solid performers, fantastic models running around there on the test track, and they are, as it says, absolutely ideal for anyone who's a heavyweight diesel fan. And of course, with the news that 086 has now entered preservation, it's a fantastic time to pick up a 60, as there's a new twist to the story really here.
There is indeed. The 60 story's still got a lot to tell, with about 20 of them remaining in service across the UK. But to see them commemorated in British Railway history as well now, possibly returning to some of those classic liveries too over time, as it's not actually just one, it's two.
Yeah.
There's been another one that's joined it pretty much over the last day or so as well. 60050 has also joined at the Wensleydale Railway, and we understand that both are to be restored fully to active service as well. They will need quite a bit of work to get going, but you can see them up there now. They are parked in the siding, having a bit of TLC applied to them as well. So if you're in the area, do hop by and have a look at them for yourselves. But it really is interesting that it's a first for these locomotives, and to see them commemorated in that way really shows what a classic, a modern classic they are.
Absolutely, and as you touched on, it might seem like to some people it was only 5 minutes that these were being introduced to service, but time passes by so fast, and in my opinion, I do believe we're entering into a bit of a new era for the preservation side of railways, with 260s going into preservation, and the Wensleydale Railway is also just taking possession of two Class 142 Pacers, which of course are still in operation out there on the lines, but not for much longer. So it's strange to me to see those go into preservation as something that's always been there, but it will happen eventually. And it's just incredible to see some of these locos getting the sort of recognition that they deserve, really. So
a lot of modern classics now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll see plenty more as the years go on.